Go for financial greatness with Webster Bank.
From Cy Donnelly Field here on the campus of St. Anthony's High School. It is a battle of national powerhouses as the Green Wave of Delbarton make the trip over the George Washington Bridge from New Jersey to take on the Friars of St. Anthony's. All right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. I want to thank our sponsors for today's game: Innovative Kitchens, Hummel Wealth Management, as well as Webster Bank. Well, a pleasant good afternoon, everyone. Dylan Butler alongside Brian Soper for what should be another outstanding battle of two of the best teams in the country. Delbarton comes over 5-1 in the season, number 14 in the USA Lacrosse Magazine polls. And St. Anthony's, they are number 6 right now, but they did beat number 2 Episcopal on Thursday out at Rutgers, so they are 3-1, 3 consecutive wins since opening the season with that loss against Culver. So again, these two teams familiar with each other, and it should make for a very entertaining game.
Two of the most respected programs in the country. A little pre-Easter brunch here for us. 5-1 Delbarton looking to ride the wave after 11-10 over Bosco. And how about St. Anthony's is right? The patron saint of lost things. They just don't want to lose, right? The first half, they're trailing at halftime, and the second half, boom, right there. They've been winning these games in some great fashion. Chaminade, St. John's, DC, Episcopal, looking to maybe have a more even game today here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, that's kind of the storyline, and we'll get to that in a minute as we first focus on Delbarton. But that is the storyline a little bit about St. Anthony's. This Delbarton team, what a week this has been for them. 3 big games for them. And on Thursday, they took on a really good Don Bosco team that we'll see later on this season, and they win a tight one. So it's one of those games that you want to have before you play a game like this, a high-intensity game. Listen, this is a team that had, 26 seniors on it last year. Only 2 position guys return as starters, but this is Delbarton, right? They reload. The younger guys have stepped up. Now you've got a more manageable kind of 18-man senior group, but some really, really talented players on this senior class. St. Anthony's head coach Keith Weiserick says he believes this is a complete team this year, and one, Soap, that is playing its most challenging schedule to date.
And I think they're going to be happy to get out of the cold, the wind, the rain, right? They've had some miserable weather-type games, but this team's reloaded. They have a 3-headed monster at the face-off X, and their offense is scoring timely goals. Look for a great one here against St. Anthony's. Both teams really respect each other.
Let's take a look now at our players to watch. And so for Delbarton, there are some good guys on the offensive side, but it starts with Chase Hauser.
Chase Hauser, slick, high point commit, returning starter, 20 goals as a junior, 13-9 this year. Dedicating his senior year to the Headstrong Foundation and cancer, right? So hoping that he scores a bunch of goals today for Delbarton.
And then on the defensive side, Dara Core has been part of the core of this defense for a few years now.
Yeah, senior 6'3" captain heading to Cornell, the defending champs. Replacing Pedicano and Popham on defense, not easy, but with a guy like Core, it makes it a lot easier following that Delbarton-Cornell pipeline of C.J. Kirst and Mikey Long. He's a leader, he's versatile, can play long stick and close, just a dynamic defensive player.
Yeah, so Hauser and Core will be 2 big parts of the Green Wave as they hope to go back-to-back with wins against St. Anthony's after an overtime win last year down in Morristown. So St. Anthony's, as we were saying, they've kind of forged this reputation early in the season as kind of these road warriors, these dogs who just refuse to give up. They rallied in second halves against Chaminade, against St. John's DC, and most recently, yes, it wasn't a home game, it wasn't a road game, but a neutral site game down at Rutgers against Episcopal. And that's a great trait to have, and really it kind of comes down to the senior leadership.
Comeback kids, yeah, never down. They feel comfortable when they get rolling. They're tough to stop with their offensive firepower, and the face-off X with Robbie Johnson. They're just a team that momentum really rides them and really dictates how the games go, and they've been really good in the second halves.
And on the Thursday in the second half, it was Paulie Lenigro winning a ton of big face-offs as well for the Friars. And we take a look now at their players to watch, and I know how much you love this guy, number 12, Charlie Caciabato.
Yeah, CNC scoring factory, heading to UNC, 9 goals on the year. He tied the game at Rutgers with 12 seconds to go, 3 goals versus Episcopal, had a huge game against Chaminade. Let's see if we're going to see some of those shovel shots today. I think he should be sponsored by Bully Tools or something, right, for his actions in the crease. But what a great finisher in Caciabato.
And then defensively, Patrick Heron has done an outstanding job partnering there with Ethan Bramoff.
Yeah, just a nasty lefty, heading to Navy, 6'3", very aggressive on the ball. This year, he's really upped his game in transition in the clearing game. Not easy to replace guys like Kelton, Verdaro, Inzerillo, McDonald, but Heron's been that guy to really step in with Bramoff, making a great 1-2 punch down there.
And you see at Caciabato, Heron, 2 of a multitude of Division I commits, college commits as well for this absolutely loaded, but really team-oriented St. Anthony's team, which is a key, especially in a lot of these tight games where no one cares about their own points. It's all about the collective. It's all about winning these games.
That's the hardest thing. These teams play these national schedules now. You need to have depth, because when you play intense games every single time you step out, there's going to be injuries. There's going to be guys nicked up. And I think that's the strength of both of these teams, but definitely St. Anthony's ability to come back is they trust their depth and athleticism.
Let's take a look at Delbarton now and their starting lineup. And you see on attack, Hauser, Bulger, and Good. Hauser bound for High Point, Bulger going to Brown. Good, a Lehigh commit as a junior. Your midfield 3, and keep an eye out for number 8, Brandon Fodor, one of the best around, heading to Hopkins. You've got Jack Sheridan, who had a big second half against Bosco to help them win that game on Thursday. He's bound for Bucknell. And then Christian Trzynski's a guy who will not just face off, man. He is staying on. The Cornell commit, he's really, really good. They've always been known for their polls, and that continues this year with Michael Rolke, the senior at LSM. And then your closely of core, we mentioned him before, John Fodor and Tommy Kovacic. In the cage, Matty McGinty, the junior.
6'2", 200 pounds, good size, real patient, steady goaltender. The kids really love to play for him. Played JV last year, seeing the bright lights this year. He's stepped up huge. Gonna need to be real rock solid today to beat the Friars.
And the head coach of the Green Wave in his 9th season, it is Matt Kovacic, Tommy's dad, Fairfield Prep 1990 graduate. His 26th season overall coaching, was a long-time assistant under former head coach Chuck Rubling, who retired in 2017, played his college lacrosse at Hartwick. He's got Matt Korka, who works with Matt Kovacic on the defense, Gary Gaddick and Carl Hauser on the offense. They had a guy named Schreiber who was part of the staff and had to get some work done to get ready for the PLL season. So Tommy Schreiber, not part of the staff, but still working out with these guys.
Was with them last year, definitely has his stamp on this program, and he was pretty good here for St. Anthony's.
Let's take a look at the Friars starting lineup and some changes here if you're a regular viewer of St. Anthony's here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Rooney Caciabato, those are your normal regular starters. Gavin Snyder has filled in there on attack. Some changes in the midfield with an injury to Anthony Mancaruso. You've got Harrington and Johnston, and how about the super sophomore Aiden Dale getting the nod there. At LSM, you've got Ryan Lasko, who has been lights out for St. Anthony's, and your close D of Bramoff, Heron, and then a little bit of a change there as well with Frank Filiberto stepping in with the injured David McHugh, and a little bit of a change as well in the goal here today.
Opportunity for number 19, Nick Zank, senior, heading to Air Force. Real solid keeper, came in against St. John's, shut the door in the second half. Comes from a goalie family. Sister Lexi is at UNC. Other sister Leah played goalie as well. Goalie family, he's ready for this task. He's waiting his turn, really stepped in relief. I love the fact that Coach Weiser is going to reward the senior here with a start against a program like Delbarton.
It is Delbarton. It is St. Anthony's. We'll have our keys to the game and the opening face-off when we return on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job of exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media's been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Go for financial greatness with Webster Bank.
Welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field here in South Huntington, Long Island. Delbarton and St. Anthony's getting set to do battle 24th time, I think they said. They've played every year since 2001, with the exception of those 2 COVID years, but this is always an annual showdown between these two, and certainly always really highly anticipated, Brian.
Last year was a crazy game, 12-11 overtime. Brandon Fodor had 3, Hauser 2 and 1. Delbarton dominated the face-off X 20 out of 25. Robbie Johnson was injured most of last year, and we know about the face-off prowess of Delbarton.
Let's take a look at the keys. We spoke with both of these head coaches, Soap, and here's what they identified as their keys to this game.
Yeah, Delbarton wants to limit the transition game of St. Anthony's. So dynamic in transition. Sound interior defense, know your matchups, know your slides, and strong through the middle of the field, right? Goalie and face-off, get some saves, win some draws. Pretty simple lacrosse. St. Anthony's compete at the face-off X, 3-headed monster versus the 2-headed monster of St. Anthony's. Goalie play, right? Zank starting today. Very capable goaltender, looking to make some saves early and want to limit our mistakes, right? From that first Culver game to now, much better in the clearing game, much better in the riding game, and trying to limit those unforced turnovers.
So we're about set to go, although I think there is a wait as I now see the gentleman who is going to do the clock, making his way up to the press box. So we are good there as we are getting set for this. When you mentioned last year, man, what a crazy game that was, certainly out at Delbarton. And it was one that you see that Keith Weiserick kind of felt it was a game that helped propel Delbarton to their terrific season last year. All right, so last year, 12-11 double overtime win, and Delbarton went on to go 19-3 overall, beating Chatham to win the Morris County tournament title, and then that tough 3-goal loss to Don Bosco in the non-public A semifinals.
This is going to be a great matchup. Both teams come in averaging around 10.5 goals per game. Both defenses giving up less than 10 goals per game. Pretty even on paper. Let's see how it shakes out here at Cy Donnelly Field.
So both teams will meet there at midfield, and then we will get to the face-off X. And it looks like I could already see a change there from what we anticipated graphic-wise, because it looks like it's Paulie Lanigro who will face off for St. Anthony's. And he had a huge second half of that game against Episcopal. And I love, too, the idea that Robbie Johnson, who is the one, maybe it's a 1-1A, if you will, right, for St. Anthony's, where Robbie saw Paulie doing what he's doing. He's like, keep going, man. Like, they work together. They're friends. And Lanigro will get this first face-off here today, facing off against Christian Trzynski. Trzynski about 50% on the season.
Trzynski, 240 wins in his career, 64%. Lanigro going to Wingate, 73% this year. Kind of good at the combo moves. Trzynski, look for him to stay on, play some offense. Swiss Army knife at the face-off.
On our side for the Wings, dueling twos, Brody Reichert and Michael Rolke. And this one will go to the wing for St. Anthony's. Friars get the first win, as you credit Ryan Lasko with that GB. And now the St. Anthony's attack will start this one off.
Lasko's been so good this year on the wings and in transition. BU commit, gaining a possession for the Friars.
Here comes Aiden Dale downhill. Dale looks to feed, finds Harrigan. Harrigan tries to go high, and a terrific first save by McGinty.
McGinty's not going to beat himself. Tall, big goalie in there, keeps his stick high. Rob's a really good shooter in Harrigan.
Yeah, Harrigan tried to go high. McGinty read him the entire way. A good clear for the Green Wave, and now they are on attack for the first time.
Yeah, if you're St. Anthony's, you like that first possession. You got a real easy shot. Dale drew a slide, found Harrigan, but McGinty stood tall.
And there is Brandon Fodor. You mentioned him before, handing it off to Jack Sheridan. Sheridan draws Reichert, who has been terrific for the Friars.
Fodor, number 1 midi in the class, heading to Hopkins. Do-it-all type, righty-lefty.
They work it to X. 29 on the shot clock. A little shake and bake, blown tire by Jack Sheridan. Recovers well. Up to Fodor.
Kovacic had so much respect for Reichert, number 2, how good he's been on ball. Real short stick D-midi stopper for the Friars.
That's a good sophomore, too, for Delbarton. Max Holda had the ball a moment ago. Sidearm shot, and Zenk gets his first save.
Zenk got a piece of it, hit the pipe.
They'll reset.
Nice underneath move by Sheridan. 6 foot, 160, heading to Bucknell. You see the speed of his dodging.
That's Matt Good, the junior bound for Lehigh. Looks to play a 2-man game at X. Back out to Sheridan. Good, quick burst of speed by Sheridan, goes far post, and it's Delbarton who takes the 1-0 lead.
Sheridan's 3rd year on the varsity. Speed for days, if you like speed, right? We have it here today. Bucknell, he's a finisher, he's a shooter. 2 goals, 1 assist versus Bosco. Absolutely snipes the low corner. Great start. 6-on-6 offense for Delbarton. with 11.
For Sheridan, goal number 8 on the season.
He's a tough matchup. He's a midi, but has real good attack skills. It's his 19th career goal for the Green Wave.
Lenigro battling. It's a second. It's Kane Quinault. Win. They go quick. Shot. Just wide.
Coach Kovacic was worried about the transition. You see Lasco 2 for 2 on GBs.
There's Danny Rooney. How about 1 and 4 in that game against Episcopal?
Yeah, the game-winning assist to Johnston on the give and go.
As well as the game-tying one to Cachubato with 12 seconds left. Here is Rooney now. Rooney, slide comes his way. A little bit of an errant pass there to the backhand, which allows Delbarton to pick this ball up, and they're looking to clear. That's Braden Garcia.
Junior, known for his hard work, gritty player in between the lines.
That is Hauser.
Got to watch Hauser. Hauser's really good at X. He's slick. He's good on the corners. Not an easy matchup for Heron.
Here comes Sheridan out of the box. Sheridan goes low again, and this time Zank gets the save.
Said beat me once, not going to beat me twice in the same shot.
Oh, but then an errant pass. Fodor. Can they get something quick here, Delbarton? Another Zank save. This time denying good.
Zank was better than good there. You know, that's one of the things, right? Transition. Sometimes goalies got to be that last line of defense. Cover some things up. 2 good saves in a row for Zank.
Here is Holda. The sophomore goes low again, and Zank another save.
Really like that right alley.
But then the rebound is put home by Matt Good.
Only fitting, right? Matt Good, junior, heading to Lehigh, hockey player. This is a hockey goal. This is a gritty, dirty goal by Good, the Lehigh commit. Eyes are always up, unselfish, but he takes the loose change, buries it. Unfortunate goal given up by St. Anthony's. Good hustle by the Green Wave.
And there you see it. Good, his 8th of the season.
He had a really good game against Ridgewood, 5 points.
So Delbarton off the bus, and then with a 2-goal lead now. And there's the third of this triumvirate here as DeNegri gets that face-off win.
Yeah, he's heading to Hopkins. How about that face-off room? Cornell, Notre Dame, and Hopkins. Not sure I've ever seen a face-off room so loaded.
And each of those guys with a win. So extra possessions right now in this first quarter for the Green Wave.
Lasco drawing that Fodor matchup.
Yeah, Reichert on Sheridan right now. Here comes Fodor. Excuse me, that's Hauser, number 9 with the shot.
Kind of like a reverse invert there, getting Hauser used to being behind at X, getting him up top. Daring some of the Poles to play in space.
Already the 8th shot of this first quarter for Delbarton.
A lot of shooters out here for Delbarton. Fodor has a cannon, both right-handed and left-handed.
Good movement here. Hauser, you mentioned the invert.
Three look. Now they go empty.
Hauser kind of bounced it an unforced turnover. I don't know if Lasco got in on his hands, but
good rotation by the man down group by St. Anthony's.
Now the Friars need to clear. Here comes Riker trying to maybe punt return it. That's good pressure applied. Riker to Johnston.
It's always good to get it to 77.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that security blanket for the Friars.
And he was the one who scored that overtime winner down at the Marco Battaglia practice field on the banks of the Raritan.
But Riker, Townsend commit, captain, just does a lot of the little things that don't end up in the box score.
So it feels like a while, right, Soap, since we've seen now St. Anthony's offense. They got the first possession as it's Harrigan now going downhill. A quick shot there and a save, and really since that point, it's been all Delbarton.
How about this matchup? Harrigan, Fodor.
Now it's Dale, fakes the shot, loses the ball. Picked up, though, by Cacciabato.
Cacciabato was someone definitely Delbarton was worried about inside. Let's see how they slide, knowing he's inside.
Harrigan low, that one got eaten by the coach's son, Tommy Kovacic.
Yeah, Kovacic heading to Dickinson, senior. This is a Delbarton defense. They only gave up 1 goal in the last 16 minutes against Bosco.
And no backup there, so Delbarton, this will be now, what, 2 possessions kind of one shot and out for the Friars.
Fodor just glides. I mean, I watched a bunch of film on him, some highlight tapes, just absolutely glides around the field. You see why he's the number 4 ranked player in the class and the top midfielder heading to Hopkins.
Holda to Sheridan. Sheridan got Johnston on him.
Yeah, Johnston, great two-way midi, also going to Hopkins.
Holda top side. That's Gavin Johnston who is on him. Good stick check from behind by Filiberto, but the possession stays alive for Delbarton.
Yeah, Bolger versus Filiberto, that's a heavyweight matchup.
Great look, side netting. Good gets his own rebounds. And a GB picked up by Delbarton. And I think they'll have a correction, or there'll be a discussion among the officials here. It might have been on that shot, Soap, that went side netting.
With a reset?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't even really know the rule. Does it have to hit pipe, goalie? Does side netting count?
I don't think it should. So that's part of this conversation among the crew. And in New Jersey, there is no shot clock. And it's not like it's been in New York for so long, but it feels like it has, right?
It's like you can't even imagine the game without it. I was thinking the other day about the horns, the sub, right? All the things that change. And you're like, oh, I don't know about this. And you're like, wow, how did we play like that before?
Here is Sheridan on the restart. And in that sense, Kovacic said, you know, our game against Don Bosco, what a great move, going the fake. That has to be a crease violation. No, there's a flag now as Hauser ended up in the crease. That's as they'll have a restart or reset on the shot clock.
That's a big-time matchup. You see Hauser, you see that ability to play on the goal line. It's got to be really patient when you're playing him. And how about Zenk getting down low? You see how athletic he is, making these saves with his feet, his legs, his ankles.
His only appearance on the road at St. John's, D.C., and played really well in that second half. So Weiserick said, listen, you know, we've got 2 seniors in goal, and he deserves this opportunity.
The St. Anthony's goalie room is like the face-off room for Delbarton. You have Neary, Jacksonville, Zenk, Air Force, and Rappaport, Loyola.
So here we go, Delbarton. That's Brody Kozik, part of the second midfield line for the Green Wave.
Delbarton's been dominating possession so far. A lot of maybe some tired legs out there for St. A's.
Will Plank. And again now to X. Hauser lowers the shoulder, goes low. Another great save by Zenk.
They've definitely dropped their head of their stick, has allowed Zenk to kind of read it, get low. But again, Hauser on the GLE is a nightmare matchup.
Zenk's 4th save already of this quarter. Going high, Zenk picks it out of that side netting.
That's the thing about high-level club lacrosse now. It's like a guy who doesn't get a ton of time, maybe backup goalies. They just look so confident in there. They're used to playing against high-level talent. Zenk's not missing a beat here to start this game.
Brody Kozik had that shot. Now the Friars get the clear as Rooney works it to X. That's Gavin Snyder back there. 6'2", athletic, big athletic family as well, right? Dad, Bill played at St. John's. His mom, Annie, swam at Fordham. Grandfather, Tom Golden, played football for the Johnnies. Not to mention his 2 brothers playing lacrosse. And look at that, just sneaking it in.
Logan Hecht.
What the heck?
21, the junior. Believe he's committed to Rutgers. Little S dodge, get it back to your left. Okay, 2-1. I see you stick that corner. Just a great use of his body. Creates a better angle, putting in his left hand. 3-star recruit, 6'3". Huge goal for the Friars.
And with some injuries, right, on the offense, the opportunity for a guy like Hecht knocks, and he has answered the bell there.
Next man up.
Another face-off win, this time for Trzynski.
Yeah, 3-year varsity player, Trzynski, senior, 5'11", 200 pounds. Can score G's as well, 16 career goals for Delbarton.
So Nigro battling, and right away there's a conversation right on the bench with Robbie Johnson.
Yeah, Trzynski's going to join some Long Island face-off guys at Cornell with Cascadin, Melkonian.
Fodor, what a save by Zenk.
Off hip, no problem.
Good check as well. Ball on the turf. There's no stopping Bramoff in that opportunity. They go quick. Rooney stings it low.
Bramoff loves to get in transition, leaks out. 17 and 11 are a dynamic duo. You know, last year it was McDonald and Bramoff. This year it's Lasko and Bramoff. Transition nightmares for the opponents.
Final 30 seconds of this first quarter.
What a save by Zenk on Fodor. You see that left-handed shot. He can really shoot it righty and lefty. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Tommy Schreiber and you know, Connor Kelly, those type of midfielders who can equally shoot with right and left hands.
It is Rooney. Rooney, the bouncer, saved. Loose in front.
Yeah, McGinty's been real solid, right? He has been tested 3 or 4 times, making the save each time.
First quarter comes to an end, and it is the Green Wave with a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, good save by Zenk. Little loose change. Better to be lucky than good. Buries it in the empty net. 2-1 Delbarton at the end of 1.
Second quarter next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Go for financial greatness with Webster Bank.
Hama Wealth Management offers investment management services designed to help clients achieve their financial goals. With a focus on building diversified portfolios, they aim to deliver a balanced approach and risk mitigation. Investing with Hama Wealth Management, like any investment strategy, involves various risks, including market volatility, economic changes, and the potential for financial loss. Professional management of those risks is why clients choose Hama Wealth Management for their investments. Start of the second quarter, and what a first quarter it was for Nick Zenk.
How about Weiserick, right? We just talked about investment. How about the investment he put into Nick Zenk to start this game on a Saturday pre-Easter? Zenk has been up to the task. 6 saves, none of them easy.
Including this one. As Hauser gets denied low. St. Anthony's wins the opening faceoff of the second quarter with Lenigro, and they go quick. And it's the same situation right off the field. Lenigro, Robbie Johnson in his ear. That's what you love about a couple of seniors. Yeah, they're battling for time, but they're boys, and they want the team success, as it's Harrigan now trying to get downhill.
Weiserick said he lets those two guys figure it out.
Johnston, the bouncer, McGinty the save.
McGinty's been real solid. Third or fourth save for him. Nice clean save, sidearm outlet.
Brendan Somer, the Air Force commit, the junior short stick D midi, gets the clear. And back on attack for Delbarton. Trying to get something in the substitution game here. Trying to go high was Trzynski. And the Green Wave will have the restart.
A lot of alley dodging by Delbarton so far.
Holda to Fodor.
His change of speeds is so good.
Little scoop pass to Sheridan. And now Good hands it to Hauser. The reverse course to that far side. Trying to split defenders. Really good defense collectively by the Friars there, as the shot never got off by Pierce Bolger. Oh, that one will go in, though. Rounding the net, finding the back of it was Chase Hauser.
Hauser's just so good off ball, known for his finishing ability. Watch the backside here coming into your screen. Right, oh, he just unbelievable take by him, getting top side, sniping the corner. He's just so good on those low angle shots, puts it in his left hand. You see why Coach Crawley, Long Island native, snatched up the senior Chase Hauser.
Yeah, 14-9 on the season. A guy who is a matchup nightmare, as Lenigro struggling to get the one off the carpet, does get it now. So back-to-back wins for Pauly to start this second quarter. And now it's Bramoff. You want to find the short stick, or at least in this case, the second midfield player in Billy Atkinson.
Yeah, Atkinson heading to Bryant, lefty. Known for his lefty shooting ability. You see him getting involved in the clears a little more this season.
Also Hecht coming out. There he is. He's got the goal right now for the Friars. And it's Atkinson. Back out to Hecht. Logan swims it, switches hands, and that shot was wide. Oh, it looks like McGinty got a piece as they will reset the shot clock.
So this is Core behind the net. Cornell guarding Rooney, heading to Maryland.
Lefty rip there by Reed Johnston.
Yeah, Johnson looking for his first goal on the year, has 1 assist.
Rooney on the restart, plays a 2-man game with Hecht. The kick out from distance. And that one got blocked in front. Another opportunity from Reed Johnston.
Yeah, Core guarding the ball. Originally was committed to BU and said, you know what, Cornell, you won a national championship. You know, I'm going to follow Kirsten Long, the Delbarton connection to the Big Red, and is heading to Ithaca.
Another chance, another shot from distance. McGinty the save. Loose ball in front.
Yeah, McGinty went down low to get that.
And it will be Delbarton ball.
Yeah, McGinty, you see the athleticism, played football, tight end. See how patient he is. He takes up the net, not going to beat himself.
5 saves now on the game for McGinty. And it's Fodor. Great lacrosse IQ. And you heard this expression from Kovacic on a few of his guys, right? Plays with his eyes up, always looking, always kind of surveying the situation.
Huge commitment by both, John and Brandon Fodor for Hopkins. Twin brothers.
Fodor kicks it out. Holda. He's got regular run here with this first midfield. Holda and Zank again. Goes across his body. Great ground ball picked up as well by Lasko.
Great save, better ground ball, but boom, top hand across by Zank. Love to see that. Quick hands getting across like a windshield wiper.
Here's Heron. Looking for options. Delbarton doing a good job just matching feet, and then a turnover by the Friars as he was unable to get it to Rooney.
Yeah, good job by Dara Core. You see 6'3", 190, physical play there.
Shots right now favoring Delbarton. 13-4 in the first quarter.
I think you could say like both goalies have been really good.
Yeah.
You know, we have a 3-1 game, could easily be 2 or 3 more goals aside if it wasn't for the stellar goalie play so far.
Here's Bulger. What a goal by Pierce. He pierced the back of the net.
Can't teach size, 6'3", 220 lefty. Heading to Brown, sticks the corner. Spent a lot of time this offseason in the weight room. You see it pay off there. Pummels the top of the net. You know, kind of that big size. You think of St. Anthony's, you think Brown, right? You think Dylan Malloy, a left-handed version. 11 goals on the year for Bulger.
Yeah, big one for Bulger. He'll PG a year before he heads to Brown. And going quick, there was Quinault.
Yeah, we haven't even mentioned him, the junior, 4-star, heading to Notre Dame, Kane Quinault.
Yeah, so if you're getting off the bus and you're Delbarton, this is ideal right now for them as Dale goes high. Shooting was an issue against Episcopal.
Good point. You know, you get not good opportunities, just missing the frame. You've been putting it on net. McGinty's been good just like that.
Yeah, another one for McGinty, denying Johnston.
Listen, you know, a big goalie who fills it up, you know, I like to take the goalie side and say they're trying to shoot for corners. That's why they're missing.
Pole goal opportunity. That was wide by Andrew Henson. Why am I not surprised you're taking the goalie side on those things?
You gotta. Anyone willing to stand in there and get hit with very limited equipment on.
And now for Delbarton, You can rotate some guys now. You've got your second midfield unit in. Ground ball, Hauser lost it a moment ago.
Oh, my God.
Look at Johnson.
What a slick pickup. 2 caused turnovers on the same play by him. I've mentioned it before, one of my favorite players to watch. Been lucky enough to do a bunch of St. Anthony's games. Love how he plays two-way.
And now again, Delbarton on the ride, right? Just matching feet. And another turnover. Weiserick thought maybe this was an issue that had been in the past, but it's coming back to haunt them there as now Delbarton trying to go quick. Look out. A collision in the crease. Zenk goes down, and the flag flies.
Yeah, that's not a fair fight. Bulger running into Zenk.
So the officials will meet, and we will have that call for you when they make their way to midfield. Or will they not? Well, we have no, now we'll have it, I think.
That's too easy. See, if nobody comes over.
424, you go back.
Still the conversation.
It's got to be a push into the crease.
Well, the official still didn't make a signal, so we'll go with that.
Delbarton's 0 for 1 on the man up.
How about this man up unit, huh?
Yeah, 6 guys, all threats.
Fodor.
Hauser, Sheridan.
Hauser gets it back, feeds the middle, and that's a bouncer that goes wide. That's a great cut by Bulger, just unable to put it on frame.
Just unselfish. Real tight on the pipes. If you see the 2 low guys.
Hauser, good hitch. We're even now.
Yeah, that man up. You got those 2 low guys really pinched on the pipes. All 6 guys are threats. Good job by the St. A's man down unit.
Fodor.
Feels like a huge possession.
Look at Bramoff, picks the pocket.
Give me that.
And now in transition comes Lasko. The one more.
Oh.
And again, McGinty, the denial. That was Rob Hummel.
Sometimes just goaltending can steal one. McGinty stole one there. Starts with a Bramoff takeaway to Lasko.
And now Melchione trying for the pole goal.
Yeah, Melchione, only a sophomore, 6'1", 170. Has 3 goals on the year, was looking for 4.
And we will have a timeout. With 3:34 left in this second quarter. For over 25 years, award-winning Innovative Kitchens has helped Long Island homeowners create kitchens and baths defined by timeless design, exceptional craftsmanship, and effortless functionality. Discover cabinetry curated to your lifestyle and budget, paired with premium countertops, and complete your space with thoughtfully selected fixtures and cabinet hardware, all coordinated by one experienced team for a seamless start-to-finish experience. When scheduling a design consultation, mention if your child attends St. Anthony's High School for a special discount. Innovative Kitchens. As we take a look at the huddle there for Delbarton, and their recent history has been very good, right? Really, their entire history has been very good. But you see the last 3 years, Last year we mentioned that, getting to the non-public A semifinals. The year before that, winning said non-public A finals. And then they went to the finals and they were the champs back in 2023.
Delbarton just always meant great lacrosse, great tradition. You know who's been cooking? We just talked kitchens. Matty McGinty's been cooking for Delbarton in this first half.
Yeah, he has in a big way. For Delbarton, how about 17 state championships? They went 8 consecutive from 2002 to 2009.
McGinty's been the chef. A little corned beef and cabbage.
20 Morris County titles, 7 of the old Tournament of Champions titles. Unfortunately, they gave that up. They went trying to do a Cursed Cup.
Yeah, Bramoff guarding Fedor now. Delbarton's been pretty happy attacking the short sticks.
Yeah, we're asking Mike Hungerford to keep a lot of stats. What we're not asking him to do is keep time of possession, but that has been heavily favoring the Green Wave. Fedor to Sheridan. He's got the short stick matchup. Sheridan, the bouncer, that is wide.
A good job by Gavin Johnston Jr., Jake's brother, real smart defender. You see Filiberto getting some time with McHugh out. St. Bonnie commit.
They work it to X. Holda spins. Holda!
Just a sophomore, folks. Max Holda, 5'11", 165. Second goal on the year, 1-1 against Bosco. You see that little spin cycle, bounces it stick side. He's gotten a lot of run in this first half for Delbarton. You see why. Super sophomore Max Holda.
And you can see, too, the scouting report, right? Shifty, two-handed.
Listen, I've watched a lot of film on Delbarton. I guarantee you they drill that roll because all of their guys do it very, very well.
5-1 the lead now for the Green Wave. There's Reichert on the wing getting a big ground ball.
Yeah, wouldn't be shocked to see a timeout.
Hummel. And look at that, Coach. You called it. Timeout, St. Anthony's.
Good timeout, much needed possession. This is a huge possession, 2:30 in the game. Try to get one if you're St. A's. Maybe talk about hitting the net.
As we take a look at the last 3 years for the Friars, each of those years ending with a championship win over Chaminade. Last year, it was a 13 or 12-11 loss to Delbarton, one of their 4 losses, and those losses kind of came in all together, right? You lose to Spalding and Haverford in back-to-back games here, and everyone's like, what's wrong with St. Anthony's?
We were here like the sky is falling.
And then what do? They bounce back, and they rally. They kind of started their trend last year, rallying in that championship game with a big third quarter to beat Chaminade, and you saw there the year before as well, 12-2, the only losses to Malvern Prep and Lawrenceville. This is you'd call it a national schedule, right, that St. Anthony's is playing, and it's funny because now Delbarton has kind of followed suit, right? This is the most challenging schedule that they've ever played.
Delbarton's heading out to Notre Dame just like Chaminade and St. Anthony's did. But did you see that thing that Mitchell Pelkey came here and they showed the facilities at St. Anthony's? And Bramoff, Harrigan, Rooney showed him around. Just unbelievable, top-notch. Winning brings things like that. Really feels like a college lacrosse program here on Wolf Hill Road.
Yeah, you mentioned that trip to Notre Dame for Delbarton. It's really their first since COVID, and they've never gone there. And they're going to play St. Ignatius from California, and then Culver, the team that we saw here, the number 1 ranked team in the country. Off the timeout, here comes Harrigan. Coming downhill, looking to feed.
Delbarton almost like pre-sliding to the Dodgers.
Yeah, all eyes on 12 in front of the crease as well.
Yeah, a lot of big boys staring you down.
Up top to Dale, in and out of his stick, which means it's a ground ball. And it goes for Delbarton with Rolke.
What a ground ball.
Look at this now, coming downhill. That shot wide of the mark by the short stick D Midian Sommer.
Yeah, get a little, Air Force on Air Force shot there. Commit Sommer and Zank. But how about that GB by Rolke? Third year on the varsity, waiting his time. Not easy to sit behind a guy like Pedicano, who's now playing for Duke. But, wow, he attacked that ground ball with a vengeance.
More opportunities now for the Green Wave. 33 was Gus Cummings. Now here's Brody Kozik.
Yeah, junior, 5'11". Another guy who loves the roll back.
Hauser hands off to Kozik. Dispossessed.
There's number 2 again. Be great to get one before half.
Johnston! It started defensively by Reichert, and then the guy who just seems to score so many clutch goals, Jake Johnston, stings it.
Yeah, casually strolls it down, brings it, give it to 77, always moving without the ball, buries it. This team has a lot of depth, St. Anthony's. It's loaded with seniors. Seniors step up when needed. That's a huge goal by the Hopkins commit, Jake Johnston. Captain, do it all, 5-star, game-winning goal against Episcopal. 77's the man for St. Anthony's.
Yeah, you saw there 6th of the season, but how many of those, right, were massive goals? This one coming inside the final minute of the first half.
He had 5 last year against Delbarton, Jake.
Yeah, that was that wild double overtime game. Lasko looks to track this one down, plays it to himself. They do have another timeout at their disposal. Here comes Lenigro, and there is that timeout. Weiser's had to be careful with those hamstrings racing down the sideline.
St. Anthony's don't quit. For the parents, they must be a cardiac arrest waiting to happen.
We take a look at the upcoming schedule, or our upcoming sportscasts. We will have Southside and Bethpage under the lights. Always fun when those two meet up. And how about Little Girls Lax, Massapequa and Wantagh? That'll be the day after. Early start time with school out. 10:30 is your opening draw control on that one.
Interesting game today. Bethpage travels to Syosset, right? Battle of the Cousins, the Waxer Bowl.
Is that the official title of that one?
Wax on, wax off, Waxer. What starts with W?
Well, first, what does start with W is with, and I'm going to tell you, with this pause in action, Varsity Media reminds parents, coaches, and booster clubs, if you'd like coverage of your team on Varsity Media, contact us today to book a sportscast. Your team deserves the best coverage with the best announcers like Brian Soper. Any team at any level can book by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. But don't email him right now. You can email him right now, but he's busy inputting stats, so he'll get back to you. All right, let's see what they have off this timeout here for St. Anthony's.
Harrigan's been drawing short sticks for St. Anthony's. Look for him to be the initiator. He'll attack shorties all day.
Here's Harrigan. Snyder.
He had a huge game, 3 goals against the St. John's.
Dale, a lot of pressure coming his way, loses the ball. And just sending it, airmailing it down the field was Aiden Puppy. Well, they have done their work defensively, looking to try to punish 5 and white.
Yeah, Dale, the sophomore from Babylon, you see his speed downhill, top 28 recruit, right? One thing that maybe has to get better for him is seeing doubles and moving it. Good stop by Delbarton to end the second quarter.
halftime here at Cy Donnelly Field. And how about number 12 for Delbarton, McGinty, with so many big saves.
Yeah, just patient, down low, gets a piece, two in a row, has done a good job in the clears as well. We saw a sidearm outlet, bam, right? All these saves for in tight, the last line of defense. Look at him, he says, no, not today. Double M's on fire for the Green Wave.
5-2 Delbarton at the end of the first half. We'll have a special feature when we return here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Go for financial greatness with Webster Bank.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And it's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Back here at Cy Donnelly Field, and the visitors from Delbarton with a 5-2 halftime lead here over St. Anthony's. Well, we mentioned going in the break. We have a special feature here. No, it's not another food review for you folks.
Better.
But is it better?
I think so.
Well, I mean, let's hope it's better, right? So one thing we wanted to do here is listen, this guy here, his knowledge of lacrosse is unbelievable. So we wanted to give him a chance to really kind of talk about whatever you want to talk about. I don't know. Maybe it's his thoughts as he's driving to school in the morning, maybe on his way here to St. Anthony's. Whatever is on Brian Soper's mind, which sometimes is a scary thing, that will get our new feature, which we have called here the Soapbox. Look at this.
Look at graphics. Look at this. Oh, the bubbles in his element. Unbelievable. The soapbox, right? So this, for the first one, I was thinking, because Schreiber last year was on the Delbarton staff.
Yep.
And his dad, Dougie, is a longtime coach here. So I was thinking, great father-son combinations on Long Island. And it just started this whole thought process of players. And I was trying to think like great All-Americans, right? Those types of things, even world team. And I started a deep dive into father and son duos on Long Island from players and coaches, right?
Here's some right here.
Yeah, so number one was Alan Lowe, two-time All-American at Maryland, 511 wins at Manhasset. He has Darren and Kevin, his sons, Brown and Princeton, All-Americans at Mineola, as well as Brown, Princeton. All three are in the Hall of Fame. Then you got Danowski, right, All-American, East Meadow. Then you have the great Matt Danowski, the Tewarton. You have, there's Dougie Schreiber, and here's his son, Tommy. Two-handed, one of the best midfielders to ever play this game, world team, unbelievable player. You have Norm Engelke, who was a world team player 3 times and has brothers, his sons John, CJ, Michael. You have other Engelkes. I don't want to, we'll talk about them later. Mike Chanichuk Sr., 3-time All-American at Navy. Mike Chanichuk Jr., 4-time All-American, 298 points in the pro leagues, dynamic shooter.
This is your honorable mention.
Yeah, and there's even more than that, right? Tommy Rotan's All-American at Melville, as well as at Delphi. Timmy Rotan's 3-time high school All-American. Turry, Dad Bill, sons Justin and Kyle. Justin, 2-time All-American at Duke, national champion. Ryan Tierney, are you kidding me? Dad Seth played at Hopkins, Hofstra coach, 164 career goals, 2-time All-American at Pequot. Brian O'Keefe, the dad of Mac O'Keefe, was an amazing player at FDU, played for the Saints. Mac O'Keefe, 221 goals, 3-time All-American at Penn State, 3rd all-time in goals. Joey Spallina, right, dad played at Adelphi, but known for his Stony Brook coaching, 501 high school points, about to close in on the Syracuse all-time record. And then you got Reese, Fennell, Coaster, you got Bob Engelke, Tom Engelke, Kraus, Purdy, Hogan, and then upcoming, right, you got Burns, Passione, Spolina, Testa, another Hogan, right, at Hills. And then you think national, I was thinking Petro and Millen. Just my head was ready to explode, right? I had a think tank of people helping me out. But
you had a soapbox committee?
Yeah, I did. And, you just think about, as a father who played the game, to see your son play at just a high school level. PAL is fun, but when your kids start to play for the world team and wear the USA jersey and get recognized as the greats in the game, what an amazing accomplishment that is. And I think Long Island, the roots run very deep. The father-son connections are great. And then, even the girl side, right? You have Fennell, a great coach for Garden City, right? He's got Stevie and Kyle, right, at Northwestern. What that must be like, not only see your son play, but we also have a situation here where, some guys are coaching their kids. So it's just an amazing thing. So,
and with the Spallinas, you've got 2 players, and son and daughter who are both best in class, right?
Yeah, so just an amazing, kind of a week going down that father-son well. Shout out to those, you know who you are, who helped me out compile a list. I'm sure I missed a bunch, but that's what I think makes the soapbox hopefully fun, is, the opportunity for people to comment and maybe shout out, hit me up, right, with guys who I left out.
Yeah, or even some future ideas here for the soapbox, right? This is quite a debut that you made here. So now the problem is,
the blood's flowing. I got my hair, my arm is standing up. I got chills, right?
You have to reach this level now each time.
It's got to start somewhere, right? It's like, thank you, Dill, like you guys, this idea. It's like, here's the keys to a Ferrari. Drive it. Right now, it's the soapbox, and hopefully, it takes on a life of its own.
So there it is. The soapbox makes its debut here at St. Anthony's. We'll take a quick break. We'll have some first half stats and the start of the second half when we return here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Go for financial greatness with Webster Bank.
Back at Cy Donnelly Field, Dylan Butler, Brian Soper, our entire Varsity Media crew getting set for the start of the second half. And what a first half it was for Delbarton as they carry a 5-2 lead into the third quarter. So let's take a look at some of those first half stats.
5-2 on the scoreboard. Delbarton has a shot advantage. St. Anthony's has some good looks. They need to hit the cage better in the second half. 7 saves apiece. Zank and McGinty have been tremendous. Face-off advantage to St. A's, 7-9. Lanigro's been great. 0 for 2 for Delbarton on the man down. St. Anthony's going to look to maybe, draw some of those fouls and get themselves on the man up because they have a really dangerous unit. But pretty even game, I think, in terms of, up and down the middle of the field. Both teams have had really good scoring opportunities, but Delbarton's done a better job capitalizing.
They've also done a better job clearing the ball. 8 of 8 for Delbarton in that first half. St. Anthony's 5 of 7. So here we go. St. Anthony's, I guess they're right where they want to be.
Exactly. The cardiac kids, the comeback Friars.
First face-off, Lanigro with a clean win. Lanigro, Pauly shoots that one wide. What a juice goal that would have been. Similar to that start of the second half against Chaminade when Robbie Johnson won that opening face-off, went down, got the and one, and helped catapult the Friars against their biggest rivals.
Harrigan getting a dose of short sticks.
He gets it back from Johnston. Here he comes downhill. Now a little bit of a change there, right? Cacciabato, after getting so much attention at the crease, kicking out a little bit. Now it's Dale. Dale has gotten a lot of attention. Dale and McGinty, another save.
Yeah, Dale with his left hand.
Good GB by Snyder to keep this possession alive. Oh, they tried to feed Cacciabato. Good backup, though, for Harrington.
Good possession so far. You got a fresh shot clock. Work for a really good one.
It's Johnston. Johnston off the foot of Rooney behind.
Yeah, unfortunate bounce.
And they'll say that was a push against Snyder, so the possession will go to Delbarton. What you like, too, I think, Soap, with so many of these different weapons for Delbarton, talk about balanced scoring. 5 different guys are getting all of those goals.
And you see it come in a variety of ways. You saw a greasy goal on a rebound. You saw an alley dodge. You saw some transition.
This defensive unit with Zank behind them has had to do a lot of work today. Here's Bolger. Bolger lowers a shoulder. Bolger! His second gives Delbarton the 6-2 lead.
Bolger just lowers his shoulder here. You see the physicality in his dodge. Reichert hedges out, lowers his shoulder, gets to that left hand. Zank catches a piece, but not enough. The big lefty heading to Brown. Physical dodge, physical shooter.
Well, that's all that work in the weight room in the offseason as Bolger nets his 12th of the season, his second of the game.
Just amazing how lacrosse works. St. Anthony's had a great possession, multiple shots, good looks, and then it comes down and Delbarton scores. For the guys in black, it seems like it's coming pretty easy to score, right? It's a little bit tougher for the guys in white.
And then Trzynski gets the face-off win, so another possession for the Green Wave.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, Trzynski next year at Cornell. Coach Kovacic thinks that, he's D-midi face-off.
Side netting. That's where Zank will pick it off. And here comes Bramoff the other way. They'll reverse it to Zank, and he'll go to Heron. And now St. Anthony is offside.
Trouble here.
Low to high. Zank got a piece. They'll reset the shot clock.
We've seen it a couple times so far in the clearing game. Some of these turnovers by St. Anthony's in the middle of the field are leading to transition for Delbarton. And that's one thing Kovacic wanted to keep St. Anthony's out of transition, and I think Delbarton's done a good job creating transition for themselves.
Sheridan with Reichert on him. Was big in that second half against Bosco. Sheridan, low, Zank, another save. Filiberto picks up the GB, hands it off to Bramoff.
Again, another rollback move. Sheridan, nice save by Zank, much needed. 7-2 would have been a nightmare.
Reichert to Rooney. And this has that feel of a big possession right now for the Friars. There's Atkinson.
Yeah, St. Anthony's thrives on that momentum, right? If they can get it going, 2 goals in a row, 3 goals in a row, you'll see the energy on the sideline lift.
Alex Shalafo. Rooney, the look in front, a jump shot by Snyder off the mark. Rooney battling 2 defenders, and Delbarton gets the loose ball.
Carter Baker, nice ground ball by him. Rooney's been taking on that X-feeder the last few games. Nice look for Snyder, who had 3 goals against St. John's. Just can't find the back of the net.
And it's Hauser. Delbarton is a team that has only given up 6.6 goals a game early in this season.
Against some elite talent.
Yeah, this schedule has been the most challenging in the program's history. As it's Bolger. He's got 2, looking for 3. Zank says no.
Yeah, a little heat check for Bolger. Zank says, not today. Nice clean save, caught it.
Again, they're matching up on Johnston and making sure the short sticks don't get it. One does there, though, in Shalafo.
Bramoff so good in the clear, just so patient. Uses his athleticism, his lacrosse IQ to find the open man.
And now your first line midfield will step on.
Need one here.
Guy they're missing is Anthony Mancaruso, senior bound for North Carolina, out with a separated shoulder, which means the added run for the sophomore Aiden Dale. Here comes Harrigan. Harrigan, the fake, and the feed to Rooney.
Thought Harrigan loves that short angle shot. I thought maybe he'd pull it there. Had space, but now you got Rooney in a hung situation.
Yeah, that's Fodor. Rooney, inside roll. I think McGinty got a piece.
Yeah, good patience by John Fodor, 6'4", 195. You see the length, 4-star in his own right. Did a good job guarding Connor Morsel, the 5-star from Haverford earlier this year.
Yeah, Morsel heading to Notre Dame. Delbarton will be heading there as well shortly.
This kid just glides.
What a trip you mentioned before. Trip of a lifetime, really, for these guys, right? Where you head to Notre Dame, you play where the Fighting Irish play, and then you play some big-time competition with St. Ignatius and Culver.
Yeah, they can go hang out with Bo Popham, senior last year's team.
And Delbarton pops another. It is good, his second.
Good to great here. Just, again, Delbarton's been attacking shorties, little swim move at X. Slide comes a little bit too late. Matty Good heading to Lehigh. Kind of operating in that X area like Gretzky, the hockey player for Delbarton.
Good, you see his numbers now with his 2 today, up to 9 and 6 on the season.
He's a tough matchup because he's unselfish. He plays midi as well. He's a 2-way player. Really feels comfortable at X in the invert.
And another possession for Delbarton. 5-goal lead here in the third quarter. Coming downhill, that was Gus Cummings, 33, excuse me. Now Holder works on Heron. Back to Good. Now Good getting the respect of.
They're going to attack these shorties. They're going to find the shorty and attack it.
Trzynski. Patient possession here for Delbarton. Hauser, the bouncer, and Zank again.
Great save by Zank. You see Hauser, that was a great job. You see how he kind of protects his stick. He gets low, wins the leverage battle, but nice bounce, save off the bounce by Zank. Good job by Delbarton getting back. Really, a big key for Delbarton was to keep St. A's out of transition. Besides the face-off, really have done a good job keeping him out of it.
4 more saves in this quarter for Zank. It's now Rooney. The feed, shot wide. Backup is there.
Yeah, don't see him miss that one too much.
Yeah, Cacciabato unable to get that one. Shalafo! Sneaks in.
Heck of a time to get your first goal of the season. Alex Shalafo, the junior from Islip. See the high IQ. Huge goal for St. Anthony's. We've seen Hecht, right? We've seen Shalafo. Not your usual suspects, but that's what the depth of the St. Anthony's team is all about. He was captain of the JV last year, his first goal of the season.
So 7-3, the score now. And going early, a second time on this game, it's Quinault.
Yeah, starts with a goal, starts with another possession. Can the momentum train of St. A's in the second half come back to life?
Yeah, they are well versed in this. Coming from behind in the second halves of games. Every win they've had this year has followed that same recipe, as it's Rooney.
The only thing that's tough is the face-off. Actually, you got 3 guys going against pretty much one guy in La Negro so far.
Dale the feed. Snyder, quick. Harrigan!
Yeah, great offensive possession there. You see 6'2" Army recruit Gavin Snyder with a great feed from X. 88 is always moving, right? Harrigan, the senior, heading to Maryland. That's not his first goal of his career, but a timely one for St. Anthony's. Great feed by Snyder.
It is his 6th of the year for the senior from Manorville.
Just a complete player. Harrigan playing at his natural position this year as a midfielder.
Don't look now, but here come the Friars. La Negro, the face-off win.
Wingate's getting a really good one in Pauley. Just, you know, not all face-offs are created equal. St. Anthony's needed the last 2, and he got them.
Cacciabato, as now we see, again, Snyder kind of operating from X, which allows Rooney a chance here to pop out to the wing. Snyder has Core hung up, and look at McGinty as well. Kind of daring him to come this way. Rooney, Eaton. Big block.
Yeah, the puppy. Aiden Puppy.
Big GB as well. Rooney, the feed. The finish, Cacciabato!
It's a twister. The same combination that tied up the game at 12. Gets a huge one here. Think he's going to shoot. Nope. Dumps it off. Twister by CNC Scoring Factory. Cacciabato. Again, doop. Find him. He's always open somewhere in the crease. Great finish. Friars are rolling.
10th of the year for the senior from Garden City. And what maybe will It doesn't go in the stat sheet. It will for a general stat. But how about that ground ball by Snyder as well to keep that alive?
Snyder's been great since he's entered the lineup. Another face-off.
Lenigro.
Have we seen this script before?
Yeah, I'm saying. Here is Reichert.
What's it called? Groundhog's Day?
They did it on Thursday night. They were down 8-5 in the fourth quarter to the number 2 ranked team in the country, an Episcopal team that beat Lawrenceville. And to hear Weiserick say it once, the 6 and the 7, yeah, I said 6-7, but Johnston, Lowe, the 6th and the 7th goals, they came so quick. And from that moment, Weiserick's like, we got this. You still needed to tie it late with Caciabato. Then you win the faceoff in overtime and don't get the goal. But then Episcopal gets stopped, and then we saw how it ended with Rooney finding Johnston for the overtime winner.
But you saw Johnston there. He's so good at back cutting. That's how he got that give-and-go goal.
Dale the feed. Friars cooking right now. It's Snyder. Back to Rooney. Rooney, left-handed, wide of the mark. It's not a bad father-son combination either there, right?
Yeah, Rooney, Scranton. 10 seconds on the shot. They're going to have to go quick.
Snyder. Johnston wants it. Had it stick up. Round in the cage. Snyder doesn't put it on frame. So the shot clock, they'll just dump it in the corner here, Rooney will, and they'll get the slide, or they got the ride going with 44 on the game clock.
St. Anthony's would love to dial up a ride here. They're going 10-man. I knew it, right? 10-man to end the third quarter. Nah, they're out of it now.
Fodor.
Yeah, you don't want a 10-man when this guy has the ball in his stick. Yeah. Smart by Bramoff, getting the shorty off of him, getting his matchup. Haven't really seen a ton of dodging out of Fodor.
Sheridan will hold up. They'll hold for the last here of this third quarter. It's Holda working on Reichert. Holda the feed in front, and it's Hauser.
He's slick with a capital S. Hard chasing Chase Hauser around all game. Very good off ball. You see it right there. Back cuts, great finish. A complete attackman. We see him dodge to score. We see off balls to score. Not shocking. He came in here with 37 career goals. Is that his second?
It is his second of the game.
Yeah, second goal, and that was huge, right, to stop the momentum of St. A's.
So now your all attack line of Hauser, Bulger, and Good, 2 goals apiece. Lenigro, the faceoff win. Lenigro, the feed. BTB by Rooney.
That was such a subtle, great slide by Delbarton. They ran the wing guy, the pole, right to the point so that Lenigro could not hit Rooney.
Well, the Friars got hot, and it's C&C Goal Factory.
Yeah, twisters, shovels, doesn't matter. 12, that's 10 goals on the year. I don't know if he's going to get an assist this year, but who cares when you can when you can bury the ball like that inside the crease.
Fourth quarter coming up on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
Go for financial greatness with Webster Bank.
Hama Wealth Management offers investment management services designed to help clients achieve their financial goals. With a focus on building diversified portfolios, they aim to deliver a balanced approach and risk mitigation. Investing with Hummel Wealth Management, like any investment strategy, it involves various risks, including market volatility, economic changes, and the potential for financial loss. Professional management of those risks is why clients choose Hummel Wealth Management for their investments. And how about Paulie Lanigro stepping up in a big way here, especially in the second half?
He's been really doing a really good job, 75%. He does a good job winning it for himself as well as using his wings. Really dynamic face-off guy, a lot of experience last year getting thrown into the fire.
And with Robbie Johnson's sideline, it's been 1v3.
Yeah.
Lanigro's had to take them all on. That entire three-headed monster that Delbarton throws at you. That includes Kane Quinault, and Lanigro. Oh, nearly picked it up. But Rooney does, thought he did for a second, get the GB. But instead it goes the other way.
GBs are ramped up times 10. Intensity, every ground ball matters.
That was John Fodor. And that a loose ball, and it'll be Friars' possession.
Good job by Lasco, just being around the ball with the pole, forced the turnover.
Soper at 8-5.
It's been a little bit of the bugaboo, the clearing.
And it doesn't seem like it's anything super special that Delbarton's doing. They're just matching feet, it looks like. As this is a good clear for the Friars.
Delbarton's just really athletic. You got small windows to throw it into, and they're pouncing on the ball carrier. Look at this speed coming downhill.
Here comes Dale. Dale pumps the brakes, spins it back out to Harrigan, and it's now Rooney. Rooney, a little hop, a little skip. The bouncer goes wide.
Good job getting his hands free, used the pick, got a switch. Again, it's just been the shooting's been a little bit off today for St. Anthony's.
Well, it's not just today. It's been a recurring issue, unfortunately, as that one by Rooney saved by McGinty.
Look at the one-hand clamp. Love it. Easy out for Delbarton. Sommer's been really good in the middle of the field for Delbarton.
There's Hauser, Fodor. Yeah, there's some dudes on this Delbarton team for sure. Sheridan trying to win the substitution game.
Sheridan's that guy that really got Delbarton started with his alley dodging, attacking shorties. Next goal here is huge. Either way.
Sheridan. Atkinson on him. Holda. Good job by Zank on that near post.
I really admire the Delbarton, offense. Really disciplined in attacking shorties. Guys like Fedor not attacking poles. Just really great patience.
13 on the shot clock. Good defense. Look at Bramoff come hunting. 5 on the shot clock. And they're just going to dump it in the corner.
Uh-oh, that's the wrong way.
Will they? Now they do. So job well done by the Friars defensively.
Great anticipation by Bramoff. He knows that they've been attacking shorties. He tries to throw it back.
And more issues. Lasco does get it, though, to Rooney.
Bramoff anticipated that throwback and just made it very uncomfortable to try to catch that pass.
Friars down 8-5. It's where they were on Thursday night. Here is Harrigan. Harrigan blocked in front.
I think that was Melchione, again, a sophomore. His brother Jake at Villanova was an honorable mention All-American at Villanova as a sophomore, Big East Specialist of the Year. Long lineage of great lacrosse players from Garden City.
Yeah, if you included New Jersey in your soapbox, I think that family certainly would have had a reason to be there.
Yeah, Dad Keith, Garden City, Duke All-American in '91. Uncle Drew, one of the first D-middies that really made that position cool. 3-time All-American at Virginia. Sister Chase at UVA. Grandpa Bill, 27.6 games at Villanova. Number retired by the Nets and Villanova.
Hauser. From distance, low to high.
Yowza.
That was Bulger.
We call that a hammer. Great job, Bramoff, over the head.
And Johnston. Look at Bramoff.
Oh,
Johnston, how did he get that? Cacciabato keeps it alive.
yeah, great job. You know, sometimes you don't love the over the head checks, but that was a good timed one by him. Starts transition. Somehow Johnston keeps it alive. Huge possession for St. Anthony's coming up.
Atkinson. And now you've got that second midfield line on Reed Johnston. Shalafo. He's got a goal today, Shalafo. Hands off to Reed Johnston. And now it's Rooney. Works off the Shalafo pick. Shalafo tries to get downhill, gets it 2x to Snyder.
That's Sommer again on the ball. He's been great.
Atkinson loses it. And look at that GB. Right away. Now they'll push transition.
So smart by Hauser there.
That was Rolke.
Yeah, Rolke's a guy who really earned his time. A lot of experience, but not in a starting role. Very smart by Hauser to pull it out, use your shot clock.
It's interesting, too, because both of these teams had one-goal games on Thursday, right? So neither really has a big advantage there, where it was an 11-10 win in the afternoon for Delbarton beating Bosco.
But I think you've seen it for both teams. I think they've used a lot of players today. I think they've used their depth, right, just because they've played so much lately and some really tough competition.
I think it's that, and it's also the first kind of day where you say it's a little bit warm.
Yeah, almost wear shorts.
Bulger with Filiberto on him. And that one is an errant pass. So, again, that window of opportunity opening for the Friars.
Yeah, you don't want to give the Friars an extra life, right? They're like a cat. Just a completely deep ride by Delbarton. These windows are really tight.
And Bramoff gets it across. Ooh, lost it, picked it back up, and then throws it back out to the midfield. And then over and back, Heron. Well, hold on a second. We'll have a conversation with the officials. Will this go to the Friars? And another conversation.
Yeah, I think it wasn't over and back. I'm not sure he was in the box, but it goes to an alternate possession.
So here we go.
Can St. Anthony's capitalize here?
Johnston to Snyder at X.
Using this little pick here for Rooney to get to the center. Rooney's can feed, he can shoot.
Johnston, what a fake. Johnston, just wide.
Johnston really takes advantages of bad approaches, as well as when someone turns their head, he likes to scoot back door. If you're guard 77, watch out.
Snyder, wide, and no backup, so Delbarton will get the ball.
Yeah, Kovacic, good job, the senior. That's a coach's kid right there.
Look at a pickoff from midfield. Cacciabato, Rooney, what a save!
There was the assist, Cacciabato we talked about. McGinty robs one. It's one of the better saves we've seen all year, Dill. At a huge time. I think he went under there, got to his shoulder. Man, that's crazy town, that save.
And now Harrigan. The possession stays alive, though, for the Friars. Johnston goes low. McGinty again. He is absolutely so dialed in.
Hasn't been that busy in the second half, but those two are worth 10 in my book. Absolutely robs St. Anthony's.
And look at the time that he does it, too, right? Inside of 4 minutes.
Yeah, if I'm Delbarton, I'm using all of this 60.
St. Anthony scores on that. You've got a 2-goal game.
And you got the momentum, because that's nothing better than a ride back dunk. Face it off.
So, yeah, now, as you mentioned, Delbarton will take some time here. It is Sheridan. Senior from Bernardsville.
Yeah, a goal would be great if you're Delbarton, but, kicking it in the corner after 30 seconds isn't terrible either.
30 on said shot clock.
Just don't want to force anything that leads to a St. Anthony's run out.
And Kovacic said, too, that Winter Bosco, it was so up and down, it felt like they had a shot clock. So his guys certainly are well-versed in that, even if there is no shot clock in New Jersey. Fodor with 6.
Oh.
Fodor!
Sometimes your best player steps up when you need him the most. This is what Fodor's all about. Number 1 midi. He glides around. He protects his stick so well. Look at that. Switches hands, buries it to the top corner. Man, are you kidding me with that shot? 3-3 versus Bosco. But the protection of his stick is so good. You see why he's so highly touted. Equally adept at scoring and assisting.
Yeah, 12 and 11 now on the year. First of the game, face-off win for Quinault.
Yeah, and it's amazing how that leads to a face-off win. Might want to use one.
And there it is. You've been right on those, Coach. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Timeout, Delbarton. For over 25 years, award-winning Innovative Kitchens has helped Long Island homeowners create kitchens and baths defined by timeless design, exceptional craftsmanship, and effortless functionality. Discover cabinetry curated to your lifestyle and budget, paired with premium countertops, and complete your space with thoughtfully selected fixtures and cabinet hardware, all coordinated by one experienced team for a seamless start-to-finish experience. When scheduling a design consultation, mention if your child attends St. Anthony's High School for a special discount. Innovative Kitchens. Delbarton, we take a look at their upcoming schedule, and there is no rest for these guys, that is for sure. They do take on Westfield, and there is that trip, the Domer Classic in South Bend against St. Ignatius and Culver. And Culver, right now, the top team in the country.
Absolutely loaded. Like I said before, Delbarton get to see Bo Popham, who was a senior defender for them last year. Hopefully he shows them around the Golden Dome.
And for the Friars, they'll be on the road to take on LaSalle. And then home games against Staples, Don Bosco, and Malvern Prep, all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. So now you wonder, too, right? 2:15 left, 70 on the shot clock.
Yeah,
well, I was about to say my question was answered with Zank right away out of the cage.
Yeah, put Lasko and Bramoff on the ball. How did he keep that in his stick?
And Sheridan lost it. Kovacic wanting a foul there. None given.
Great job by St. Anthony's. Those are little things that go a long way. That's coaching. Double the ball with your two best poles. You saw the takeaway by Bramoff. Now you just got to put one in the back of the net.
Yeah, Rooney gets downhill. He'll get to X. Snyder will now operate space. Rooney!
Big play, Rooney. Maryland commit. He has shown that shovel shot. You know, a little bit of a question mark, delayed question mark there, but there's no question about Rooney, leadership of this team, a senior. Now you just need to get a face-off, get it back into Rooney's stick.
A big one here. It's, as you see, Rooney 5-8 on the season. It'll be Quinault and Lenigro. Robbie Johnson's sideline for today. Bramoff on the wing.
Oh, huge ground ball. That's Trzynski, senior, Cornell.
How about that? You put two face-off guys there who obviously know a thing or two about picking up those GBs. Now Trzynski doubled. Trzynski loses it.
Refs are letting them play.
And here comes Lasko the other way. Lasko to Rooney.
Got to go quick.
Tries to get out of some traffic to Bramoff. Flips it to Reichert inside the final minute.
Yeah, you got to try to score in 10 seconds here. Get a shot at least.
Rooney tries that same bit of a jump shot. Goes wide. Possession stays, though, with the Friars.
Yeah, you're under 50. You need 3.
Reichert. Harrigan.
Got to let it fly.
He does that. It was wide. 33 seconds left.
6-on-6 defense for Delbarton has been very good today. You keep St. Anthony's out of transition. They don't shoot well. That's why there's 6 goals on the board, a team averaging over 10 goals a game.
Rooney.
Fedora's been really good.
Cacciabato! That is his wheelhouse. And Rooney slow. I think he took a shot there at the end on that feed.
Yeah, John Fedor and Rooney has been a really great matchup. Cacciabato somehow finds himself open for another shovel shot. 11 goals on the year for Charlie. Charlie in the goal factory.
So Rooney will come off.
2-25. We've seen it.
Ronayne is on now.
If you're Quinault, you just want to tie him up, make it a scrap. Oh, he went early.
He did. 25 seconds left.
There's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance. Here comes Dale. That's
like
the guy you want to get downhill in a hurry.
Gotta go.
Harrigan. Snyder loses it. GB.
Johnny Fedor shutting the door.
Fedor sends it down. Lasko will get it with 3, but time will run out as what a huge road win for Delbarton as they take this one 9-7. And what a week for the Green Wave. They go 3-0.
Try to figure it out. Who's the top dog? Who's 1 in the country? Who's 2? Who's 3, 4, 5? Doesn't matter, right? These really good teams taking chances at beating each other. huge win for Delbarton.
Take a quick break. We'll have more in the postgame when we return here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Go for financial greatness with Webster Bank.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
And back here at Cy Donnelly Field, what a big road win this was for Delbarton. They go back-to-back in this annual showdown against St. Anthony's. Last year it was in overtime. This year it was regulation. And Soap, our innovative kitchens player of the game. Yeah, you know it. It's Mr. McGinty in the cage.
He was definitely cooking today with some unbelievable saves, especially in transition. St. Anthony's was looking to find a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Matty McGinty says, no, not today. Came into this, under 50% on the year. You could have fooled me, man. He stood on his head today, made clean saves, goes under there, huge save. Down low, cleared it well. You can really tell that the guys in front of him, Fedor, Kovacic, Core, Rolke, Melchione, they love playing in front of him. 72% coming to Long Island, securing a victory. Have a day, Matty.
Usually it's McGinty and Ethan Yang who split, but the way McGinty was going in the first half, you give him the keys, and McGinty drove Delbarton to a big road win. So Matty McGinty is our Innovative Kitchens player of the game. Soap, as we take a look at some of the final stats in this one.
Yes, tight game, 9-7. Number 12 had 13 saves for Delbarton. Zenk played well as well, had 11. Face-off advantage to St. Anthony's, 0 for 2 on the power play. St. Anthony's did a great job in the second half, out shooting Delbarton, but it was the play of McGinty that kept the score low. Unbelievable job by him. Great road win for Delbarton. They're riding that green wave of victories.
Yeah, a few stats that you didn't see there. St. Anthony's won the ground ball battle 25-17, but again, the clearing game, Delbarton 15 of 16, and the Friars 12 of 15. You mentioned the shots, right? It's 38 for the Friars, but how many were on frame, right? So that's, again, that recurring issue that the Friars will work on here at practice when they come back after Easter Sunday. But what a trip it was for Delbarton, off the bus on a business trip to Long Island to take on the Friars. And the goalies came up big on both sides. Zenk, but good, pots in the rebounds. And then it was the McGinty show saying, no, not today. Rooney, the feed, Cacciabato in his office. The Friars, they thought they'd have another one of those comebacks. But then Fodor said no. He closed the door for Delbarton. Another look there at one of the best midfielders in the country as Delbarton. They will celebrate a 9-7 win here at St. Anthony's. For our entire Varsity Media crew, our executive producer, Ben Turchin, our technical director is Chris Sweeney. Bring you all those great moving images. Becca Kazaks, Kevin Catalanato, and Pablo Pachuo. And my broadcast partner on his soapbox at all times is Brian Soper. Dylan Butler, thank you for joining us from South Huntington. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Varsity Media Sports Network.